What's good, Wizards fans? The Washington Wizards lose to the Raptors 114 to 104, but Johnny Davis and Corey Kispert and Denny Avdia, all the young guys look good tonight and showed some promise. Johnny Davis hitting his career high. And we're also going to talk about Chris Miller's comments on tanking, and also talking to Wizards fans. Let's get to it.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. That's PrizePicks.com, promo code Locked On. So the Wizards lost to the Toronto Raptors 114 to 104. The Wizards never led at all in this game. The Toronto Raptors, their largest lead was 21 points, but we did see some flashes from Johnny Davis, some flashes from Denny Avdia, some flashes from Corey Kispert. All the young guys look pretty good tonight. Jordan Goodwin included. Which young guy stood out to you the most, and what was your thoughts about the young guy's performance tonight?
Man, the most was Johnny Davis, obviously, man. 15 points, 3 from 4 from 3-point. His shot, he's got confidence. He didn't hesitate. He shot the rock, and I mean, his confidence shows. They really did. My hats goes off to the Capital City Go-Go and what they're doing down there, man, because, looking at Jordan Goodwin and Johnny Davis, how they're able to kind of develop and then come up and really offer good minutes for the Wizards, man. Johnny Davis, I'm really intrigued to see how he does the rest of the season and how much he progresses in the offseason, because he's showing what we saw in Wisconsin, a guy who, man, high basketball IQ. And man, if you combine that with confidence, he's going to be good. I like what I see. And I think that with this showing and with, obviously with the rest of the year going, I think he's going to solidify himself as a piece of the foundation going forward for this team. Looking at Kispert and Denny, both of them, again, played quality minutes tonight. Looking at Kispert, 19 points, 7 for 16 for the field, 5 for 11 for 3. So his shot, again, he is really solidifying himself as the best shooter in that draft. And it shows, because his shooting and his cutting, and we keep saying, basketball IQ. And it just shows, man, just like Johnny Davis. And that's why if you look at a lot of these college programs, Wisconsin, Gonzaga, I see where a lot of people like drafting these college guys, because, their basketball IQ really shows. So, again, Kispert did his game thing again tonight. Denny Avdia, man, 50 points and was 9 rebounds, 7 assists. So a very solid showing for Denny. And in KP, 26 points, 9 for 17, 4 for 7 from 3. So this was a good showing for the young core, man, including KP, because KP's kind of the de facto leader. He's the guy now kind of running the show. But these young guys, man, these whiz kids, man, they're looking good. They offered quality minutes. Now, how did we lose this game? Man, they killed us in the paint. Like you said, points in the paint, they outscored us. Rebounding, they rebounded us 53 to 45. Offensive rebounds, 18 to 12. 2 turnovers. Again, that's our MO, sloppy basketball turnovers. 18 tonight, and they scored 25 points off of those 18 turnovers. And if you look at rebounding again, they had 27 second chance points. So, again, tell the tape, again, for us in a loss is rebounding, turnovers, and it continues to be our MO. But, obviously, I know we're going to talk about a lot coming up, man, but they fought hard. They fought hard the third quarter. They came out, they made their adjustments and fought hard, and then they gave up in the fourth, man. But, nah, man, this young squad, they really look good tonight.
110%. I mean, for the rest of the year, honestly, I won't be really looking at these games of why they lost or, how they won. Honestly, it's really just an evaluation time this year, and they're doing it the right way. Bradley Beal resting, out with knee sores. Monte Morris not playing tonight. He's probably, I would guess that he wouldn't play he's not going to play for the rest of the season. Same thing with Kyle Kuzma. I think they're doing the right thing. Porzingis playing is intriguing. I think he may want to play just because it's a contract year for him, and then a lot of, if he does opt out of his contract, he may want to play as many games as he can, because the narrative is that he's always injured. So I think he wants to show that he's playing a lot of games compared to years past. So I mean, that's just the way I'm looking at it. But yeah, Johnny Davis had a lot of confidence tonight, knocking down the three-pointer, knocking down the three ball a couple times. He had a beautiful steal on Scotty Barnes. He did miss the free throw though, so he's got to make both free throws. But I love his energy on defense, man. He's looking like the guy from Wisconsin because I like Johnny a lot when he came out, man. I was just surprised of how slow it's taking him to develop. Like the summer league was concerning, and then the G League start was concerning. But of course with more playing time, he's just getting better and better and better. I love what I'm seeing from Johnny Davis, especially all if you look on social media and just the fan base. The fan base was really tough, and I was included too. So I'm not gonna act like I'm innocent with Johnny, but Johnny's playing a good ball right now. So I'm really happy to see that as a recent getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line, and then Corey's shooting the ball well. We got on Corey a little bit during the season because he was a little inconsistent, but now he's starting to put it together, knocking down 5 threes. He's hit 4. He's had a lot of games with 4 threes. He's getting to the basket, cutting to the basket. So this was another good game for him. And I didn't get to do the Spurs review with you. But he was great in that Spurs game. I mean, 6 threes, 26 points. I mean, he was awesome. He was sensational in the Spurs game. Denny had a great game in the Spurs game. I thought Denny had a good game tonight too, especially going up against a tough Raptors team. Like they play really tough on the defensive side of the ball. Siakam, Anunoby, Scotty Barnes. That's a tough matchup for Denny, and I thought Denny rose up to the challenge. 15 points, 9 boards, 7 assists. He had a really nice pass to Porzingis, like a behind-the-back pass to Porzingis. So I just love what I saw from the young guys. Kristaps, I thought he played well tonight too. He had a couple of turnovers though that hurt. The Wizards, they had 18 turnovers tonight. The Raptors had how many points off turnovers? 25, which is inexcusable for the Wizards. They got out rebounded as well. They gave up 18 offensive boards. Chris Boucher had a couple putback dunks, which is inexcusable. And Jakob Poeltl had 10 rebounds. So they just got out rebounded and out hustled a little bit tonight. Jordan Goodwin played tonight too. But yeah, like I said, I'm just not looking at these games from a win-loss standpoint. I'm just looking at them, as evaluating the young guys. And of course, I do want to see this team better their lottery chances. So I'm not going to call it tanking, but I want to see them get better lottery odds for sure.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make it a mystery. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I want a first rounder in this draft, man. Like I'm telling you, because this draft is loaded, man. So I'm not even gonna make it a secret. Yeah, me too. But I'm looking at this young core, man. I like what I see from Johnny, man. I'm really excited because I liked him coming out of Wisconsin. Big fan of him. I like his motor. I like his dog. If he can really work on being consistent with his offensive repertoire, man, I'm telling you, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be a good player. Again, Kispert, I like him going forward with his organization. I like how he has responded in the second half of the season, and I love what I see from Kispert, man. I'm becoming a really big fan of him. And looking at Denny, man, this is an opportunity for him to kind of show where he's at. If he's ready to take that leap. Because I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the most pivotal off seasons of the history of this franchise. I'm gonna say it right now because there's a lot of what ifs, man. A lot of what ifs. So right now is the perfect time to evaluate these young guys. And look, they can sit coos and build down for the rest of the year. I have no problem with that. I mean, look, KP, look, have a seat. I mean, at this point, I want to see how these young guys, they can have KP have a seat. I would have no problem with it. It's time to evaluate. And, it's just, and like I said, we're going to talk about the comments in a little bit. But, the team's saying one thing, but they're clearly tanking, man. And look, by all means, do your thing because I'm ready for it, man. But, no, going back to the young guys real quick, man. No, it's intriguing to see them playing at this level. It really is because I like what I see from the young core, man. And again, KP, with him being healthy, his stock is going up. And I think with his stock going up, the likelihood of him staying is going down because he has a chance to get paid. With him being healthy, with the progression he showed with this all-star, in my opinion, he had an all-star season. He's going to get that bag in all season. And really, you got to ask yourself, I don't think we're going to be the one to give him that bag. And I think he's earned it, man. Kristaps Porzingis earned that bag when he gets to the offseason because healthy, he's had a really good year. So, I mean, like you said, I'm not really going to evaluate too much, man, because really the same issues are the same issues we've had all year. So it's not really no need to evaluate. But, yeah, I think at this point is what we see out of this young core. So I'm with you, man.
Yeah, Porzingis right now, he's played 63 games, which is really good. I mean, in 2021, he played 43. In 2020, even though it was a shortened season, he played 57. 2018, he played 48 games. So, I mean, he needs this for free agency. He needs to show the league that he can be healthy, and he's doing that. So that's that's a big reason why I think that's the only reason why I think he's playing, to be honest with you. But we're gonna get to Chris Miller's comments here from NBC Sports Washington. If you guys didn't hear about it, we're just gonna talk about that pretty quick here, and then we're gonna get to comments. But before we do get into that, today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. I had a good day on Prize Picks today. I did go with Fred VanVleet getting over 20.5 points. He had 18 points at halftime, ended up with 28 points at the end of the game. I hate to pick against the Wizards, but it is what it is. I also picked Jaylen Brown to get, I think it was over 29.5 points, and I think Jaylen Brown ended up with like 30 points against the Spurs. So I did cash out on Prize Picks. This is how this is how it works. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they will score more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. Prize Picks offers projections on any sport that you watch. This includes NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, PGA, college football, men's college basketball, women's college basketball, Euro basketball, cricket, WNBA, esports, NASCAR, tennis, and more. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Safe and fast withdrawals. Currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code Locked On at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. All right, so let's get to the hot topic here. Chris Miller, he's been going back and forth. Chris Miller, if you didn't know, of course, everybody knows he's the play-by-play announcer on NBC Sports Washington. He was the color commentary for the past couple of years, and he moved to play-by-play with Drew Gooden. So after the game, for context, they were talking about tanking, and Chris Miller has his opinion on that. He's very anti against losing games. So he said this to Wizards fans. I'm paraphrasing here. You never root to lose. He said if you ever played a sport, you never play to lose. In this situation, he said you should try to win games to make the playoffs. It's good to make the play-in, but you never play to lose. And I'll get off my soapbox here. So he did talk he was basically talking to Wizards fans, and it got a lot of backlash on Twitter, social media for sure. What were your thoughts on Chris Miller's take on losing games for the rest of the season, where the Wizards are at in their situation?
Really, Chris Miller? Like, for real? Really? You're blaming the fan base? Like, for real? Look, you need to get on the players, man, because they had all year to prove what they can do, and they found every reason not to do it. Okay, it was injuries, it was depth, it was this, it was that. Look, you had just like Corey Kispert said in his comments, they had how many games to figure out who they are? You gonna get on the fan base? Really? I mean, it's crazy because you need to get on the players. They're tanking. They're the ones losing. I mean, they're doing the job for us. And again, you go back on the fan base. Let me tell you something, man. The fan base is the nervous system of any franchise. Easy. It is a pulse. You know, they let you know where you're at, a public opinion. This fan base is screaming for you to rebuild. Now, you want to go ahead and live in this cloud where everybody's happy and high-fiving and giggling, and you got your little chain on, and Bradley Bill's laughing around. And then look, most of the fan base is saying, look, enough. John Wall got traded. You had the 1 year with Russell Westbrook, traded him, made some moves. But look, Bradley Beal, he's not that guy. He's not the guy that's going to bring this team to a championship. Okay, he's not. So let's call it like it is. You know, in the offseason, ask him where he wants to go. Thank you for your service. Bye. Especially after he gets the all-time scoring record. Hey, bye. That's all. That's how I feel, man. But the attack the fan base, I don't understand that, man. That is, I mean, it's just it baffles my mind how you go towards a fan base who, what are you getting on this about? What, holding our franchise accountable? What, telling our franchise that they have to have a standard? Like, really, that's what you get on this about? Like, we want to win a championship, but so we're wrong for that. Like, I don't understand the context of his comments, especially 2 days after you said that you were pretty much the season was over. So which one's it? You know, which one is it, Chris? Like, which one is it? Is the season over, or are we still fighting? I mean, and really, I am so tired of this cornball notion that, the playing, you're playing for the playing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and clearly, Philadelphia has your eyes on bigger things. Milwaukee, Boston, even Brooklyn, who traded away 2 superstars, they still got the eyes on the prize. Are bigger than our goal. Like, really? It baffles me, man, because to a lot of fans, this is kind of the last straw. because I mean, Chris Miller, he's entertaining to watch, and I get his position because look, Taylor Janssen signs his checks, so I get it, man. Especially anybody's got a family, you understand that sometimes, man, unfortunately, you got to sacrifice sometimes, man. Because look, man, I'm just saying, as a family man myself, I'm telling you, sacrifice. So I get it, man. I get his position, but this just makes Ted Leonsis that much more unlikable. Like, really, you can't take criticism. Let's say the facts right now, man. We have not won a championship since the daggone 70s, man. The 70s. The 70s. Like, what are you pumping your chest up for, man? We do this little celebration of the Big Three era, and I'm a big fan of Gilbert Arenas, Caron Butler, Antoine Jameson. Very, very fun team to watch. They never made it past the first round. Like, what are we talking about, man? The Big Three. I mean, come on. And like I said, all due respect, I like all three of them, man, but they're not a Big Three. Not like Miami's. Miami's won a championship too. I mean, I'm just saying, it's just this notion, this small market, and we're not even a small market, but we have such a small market mind frame. It's just this cornball notion. It baffles me. Oh, we're celebrating. What are we celebrating? Real teams celebrate championships. We are celebrating first round exits. Let that sink in, man. And it's not. It's just, how many years are we gonna try? So I'm gonna cut it there, man, because I'm very upset about the comments, because it's like, you go after the fan base. This is, look, just like the Commanders or any other DC franchise. This is one of the most passionate fan bases in the country. Easy. People talk about, Boston, Philly, and I get all that because they're a little crazy. But look, this is a passionate fan base, man. Like, this city likes their sports. They love their sports, man. You talk to anybody about the Super Bowls of the Commander era, man, that's passionate. That, same thing as people that were around for Wes Unseld winning an MVP and his team winning a title. There's passion there, man. The Nationals, how big it was for the Nationals to win the World Series? It was huge. Or the Caps, list goes on. This is a passionate city that we value our sports. And you're playing this little hot potato, cute little game like, oh, I'm okay with going to the first round and get blown out. Man, get out of here. Look, Ted needs to go. I'm called like it is. Look, if he's not going to value contention and bringing a championship to DC, he needs to roll on the same bus as daggone Dan Snyder. Get up out of here, man, because this is a championship should be the standard. Like, playing and first round exit is your standard. Get out of here. That's a loser mind frame. And you know what? Maybe it's time for you to roll on the same train that Dan Snyder's taking. Bye. And that's it. That's pretty much all I got to say, man.
Yeah, no, 110%. I mean, I love what Corey Kispert said. I love what he said. I loved how honest he was. He said, he doesn't blame the fans for thinking that way when they asked him about fans wanting to lose and tank. They had ample opportunities to win games, and he said they just didn't do it. The NBA handed the Wizards on a silver platter an easier schedule in the second half. We played the Hawks back-to-back at home. We played the Raptors back-to-back at home. Those were two opportunities, golden opportunities to move up in the standings, and they laid an egg and lost both games to the Hawks at home. They lost the game to the Raptors at home. They led the league in blowing leads of 15-plus points or more. Who can you blame for that? You have to look at the players. And then you want to win games now when the season's over, when you're 2.5, 3.5 games behind the Bulls in the 10th spot. Now you want to start winning games? That makes zero sense when you had ample opportunities, blowing leads to the Nets, letting Cam Thomas drop 40 points, blowing a 20-point lead at home to the Blazers, letting Anthony Simons hit 5 to 6 threes. Those are the games where you should have won and had urgency in winning those games. So that's that's where they lost the season right there. And the Wizards I'm not going to say the Wizards are lucky to have fans, but the fans have been bruised and beaten and battered, man. Like you said, we haven't won a championship since 1978. We haven't made it past the second round since 1979. We're the only franchise to do that. That is just awful. Even the Kings have gotten past the second round with Chris Webber back in the 90s, and that was more 2000s. And the Wizards haven't even been able to do that. We watched that numerous and numerous times. The players know it. Bill's sitting down for the rest of the year. Kuzma's sitting down for the rest of the year. Monte Morris is probably going to sit down for the rest of the year. They know what's going on. They know what's up. And to get out of this treadmill of mediocrity and getting this 9th, 10th pick, that's the best way to build this team, is to at least – and if you get in the top 5, or even look at last year, if they finished 9th, if they would have just lost out earlier, they would have had a chance at guys like Benedict Mathurin or Keegan Murray or maybe Shaedon Sharpe. That getting 2 picks higher than what you were, you could have got better talent. And I like the way Johnny Davis is playing right now, but at the same time, I think we all definitely would have loved to have Benedict Mathurin. But like I said, I love the way Johnny's playing right now. But that's just the difference it makes. And the fans are tired of seeing this. We're in this treadmill of mediocrity. We haven't made the playoffs with Bill as the leader, the number one guy trying to build around. The only time we made the playoffs is when we made the play in. We're not trying to see this team scrap and scrape just to get the play in. To even if they do make the playoffs, guess who they got to play in the first round? The Bucks and Giannis. That's an automatic sweep. So we're not trying to see that as a fan base. We want to see this team build the team the right way. And the only time the Wizards were really, really good the past years was guess what? We had the first pick of the draft of John Wall, and we had the third pick of the draft of Bradley Beal. So that's the only way this team has been able to be successful. So the fans see that. And this draft is not a draft you want to pass up on. You want to move up as much as you can and get as much talent as you can. So Chris Miller, he just has that old thinking. And yes, he is employed by NBC Sports Washington. And I respect Chris Miller a lot. I respect his opinion. He's worked his way up in the business, has been a good commentator for NBC Sports Washington for years. But, you know, his message to the fan base and the fan base clapped back, and rightfully so. I think they did. And it just to say that, it's just such a short-sighted way of thinking. And the Wizards, the only way they're going to get out of this, because we don't want to attract. We already know this. We don't want to attract free agents. Nobody wants to come here. We make okay trades, but we don't make earth-shattering trades where somebody like a Kevin Durant and like we can't even get guys from our own hometown to come here. So you have to draft well. The Wizards, they have to draft well. Other teams have done it. I know it doesn't have to be a trust the process kind of Sixers kind of thing. But even look at the Raptors. They gave up on their season. They got a good player in Scotty Barnes. So that's just what the Wizards. That's just the way they are. That's just what they have to do. They can't attract free agents. So when you're a team like that, a small market team, you have to get better draft position. Look at the Blazers. They're shutting down Damian Lillard. Look at the Spurs. Look, they got Tim Duncan. He was the first pick of the draft. The Rockets. They got Hakeem Olajuwon. Look at Greg Popovich. He's not on his high horse telling the Spurs to go on there and win games. This is a Hall of Fame coach in Greg Popovich. This is a franchise on the Spurs that are a Hall of Fame. Tim Duncan, David Robinson, they have way more of a story franchise than the Wizards, and they have no shame in trying to get Victor Wembanyama. They have zero shame in it, and I don't blame them for it because Greg Popovich knows talent when he sees it, and he's trying to get another Tim Duncan. So teams are being smart. Scoot Henderson as well.
Yeah, but it's not the fans' fault.
Oh, yeah.
Look, this. I mean, this fan base is the ones that's showing up supporting this team. It is not the fans' fault. Look, the fans aren't the ones being lazy. Look, this is a lazy organization. I'm gonna call it like it is. Number one, instead of going out there and really finding a GM who can do the job, you promoted the guy underneath for the guy who got fired. How lazy is that? Like, really? You really think this guy's gonna come in and do anything different? He's been studying underneath the previous cornball. What do you think he's gonna do? Like it's ridiculous. And then instead of going out there and finding a daggone coach who can do the job, like I get it, man. Wes Unsel's dad, get it. His dad is the one who has a lot of he's done a lot for his organization, absolutely. But we're really going off the name game. Look, 2 years he came in here with the MO that he's a defensive coach and his defense is trash. So there it is. How many years you want to see if he can do the job, man? Like, yeah, I mean, 2 years his defense has been trash and easy. Teams go out there and they have career nights. No, nothing against Cam Thomas, man, but Cam Thomas came in there looking like KD. I mean, Cam Thomas came in there and dropped how much on us? I mean, come on, man. It's laughable. How long are we going to continue to charade that, we're going to see, next year's going to be better? No, Bill's going to find it out next year. No, it's not. Come on, how many years are we going to try? Like, how many years are we going to try to make him the guy? No, send him on his way. Look, let him be the all-time scorer and then ask him where he wants to go and send him on his way. Get some assets because we should have did it 3 years ago. I mean, we waited so long, and then we're going to pay this guy this ridiculous amount of money, and then treating him like his royalty, man. Treating him like he's brought us to the promised land. He hasn't brought us anywhere. No trade clause. Look, you get Michael Jordan's no trade clause. You get Kobe Bryant's no trade clause. You get LeBron James, Stephen Curry's. Those are the guys you get no trade clause. You don't get no trade clause to a guy who, yeah, he's got all-star appearances. I mean, so Scotty Barnes. Like, I mean, what are we talking about? Like, this is a slap in the face to this fan base. Really, to the fan base. This fan base is what pays your checks, man. Show up to the game, buying your merchandise, watching it on TV. This fan base is what pays the bills. Like, you know what? To come at the fan base and it's keep happening, man. Keeps happening. We got to hear from Bradley Bill's wife about his 2K rating. And then we got to, it's just like, how many times you come at the fans, man? Really? For real? It ain't 2K out there rooting in the stands. It's us. You know what I mean? We're the ones going out here paying $100 some for a jersey. We're the ones out here paying $20 for a Jack and Coke. You know, I'm just saying, you know, paying $50 to park across the street. You know, we're the ones spending the money, and they really coming at us. Okay, fair enough, cool. Because people don't have to show up. We already got one of the worst attendance records in the league. People have to show up, and if you continue to and let the attendance be zero, Ted. All right, because the cap's going to be the only reason people show up to Capital One. I'm just going to be real. It's a slap in the face, man. And time, like I said, time and time again, you come after this very people who support you, the very lifeblood of this franchise, your nervous system. And I'm gonna end there, man. It really was it was just a slap in the face, man.
No, well said. Well said. Yeah, and then Kuz comments, and you look at the players too. They look like they don't want to win either. Honestly, they think they looking at them. It looks like they're ready for Cancun. You know, 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Kuzma's comments about Bill taking shots at the game, the last second shots and clutch shots. Nobody else gets the ball. Basically, it's just giving the ball to Bradley Beal. He's talking about his teammates complaining to the refs. You just look at the body language after that. After it just looked like they were ready to mail it in. So if they're not ready, if they're not wanting to win games, of course I'm ready for this team to lose. So, but yeah, we're gonna get to comments here. Before we do that, we got a quick word from Brandon.
Yes, sir. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Built Bar. The Built March Madness bracket is here. We know you have a favorite bar or puff, and now's your time to make it count. Go to builtmarchmadness.com to vote for your favorites. You know I'll be voting for the coconut puff. And if you want to support the Wizards to win, then you'll be voting for that bar too. Support your team, support your bar or puff. And when you vote for your favorite bar or puff, you'll be entered into a drawing where 50 lucky Locked On listeners will get a free box of Built. Ooh, not only that, but one Locked On fan will win a 12-month subscription to Built to have Built's best bars or puffs delivered monthly straight to your door. You got to try Built. Built, the best protein bar ever. Seriously, they're so amazing you won't think they're good for you. What makes Built bars and puffs so good? Well, for starters, they're all high in protein, low in sugar, and covered in 100% real chocolate. That's right, real chocolate. Run to builtmarchmadness.com right now to vote for your favorite bar or puff and pick up a box while you're there. You can vote every day in March, so hop in and support your pick. Built Bar. All right, let's get into this comments.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments. We'll probably read probably like 3 tonight, honestly, because we'll probably do a mailbag and look at some of you guys' comments and make sure that we answer everybody's comments. But we'll look at the first one. Sheldon T, a positive comment for tonight. Says Johnny J the threes. Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah, man. Oh, go ahead, D.
Go ahead.
No, I'm real quick. I'm gonna let you go, man. Johnny Davis, he's starting to really show that potential he came from Wisconsin, man. I like what I see. You know, when he hit that first three, I was like, okay, a little confidence. Okay, he hit the second one. I was like, all right, now we're cooking a little bit. But I mean, his confidence with that shot. So yeah.
Yeah, Johnny looked good tonight. I love the shooting stroke from tonight. Hit a couple of corner threes. I got to the basket. He lost the ball one time, picked it up, then went to the basket. Got to the free throw line tonight as well. Had a really nice deflection on Scotty Barnes. Got a steal on a fast, and then went on a fast break. He got fouled, but he's got to make both free throws. So that's the only problem I really had with him tonight. Excuse me, but it's just the confidence, not hesitating to shoot a three. When you're wide open for three in the summer league, the past summer league, he just thought way too much. He was thinking way too much, and right now he's just pulling the trigger and letting it fly, letting it go. So that's awesome for him. I think he should really just start next game. I can't even – let me look at who even started. Denny started. Kristaps started. DeLon started. But I honestly Denny, Kispert, of course, he started. Porzingis and Gafford started. And DeLon Wright. I think after this game, they need to really, really next game, they should just start Johnny Davis anyway, in my opinion. But they probably won't. Xavier Cooks, he got his first assist of his career. Let him play a little bit, and then once again, bring up Quentin Jackson and just let him play, 20, 25 minutes. Sheldon T also says, I appreciate Chris's passion for the Wizards, but he's off thinking that fans have the same mindset as players on the court. They shouldn't want to lose. Fans can think long-term. And, yeah, like Brandon, like you said, the Orlando game, he was like, they just should evaluate and let the young guys play. And then he switches up and says that, he doesn't want to see the team lose. But honestly, they need to evaluate their young guys. They need to see what they have in their young guys. I think that's more important going forward. You need to see what you have in Denny. And especially just seeing him play without Kuz and Bill, even though, of course, you need of you. He needs to play well with Bill and Kuz and Porzingis. But those guys being out, it gives you more of an opportunity to see what Denny can really do. I know that Israel fans are happy about that. Of course, saying that Kuz sits down and Bill sits down and Denny can finally flourish. But yeah, Denny's just more aggressive when those guys sit. Of course, Kispert, he gets to develop more. Jordan Goodwin gets to develop more. Johnny Davis gets he gets to develop more. So whether you win or lose, it's really more about developing these young guys.
Yeah, I'm with you. This definitely should be evaluation time for these young guys. Two other people I want to see is Quentin Jackson, and I want to see this guy from Australia, Xavier Cooks. Let's see what he can do. So let's get his legs ready for the NBA, man. Because I want to see everybody who could contribute beyond this year. I think Quentin Jackson has a history with his organization. I like what he's done with the Go-Go. Same thing with Kispert. I think he's going to be a solid piece. And I'm a believer that Denny gets traded in the offseason. I think with him going into a contract year, I think he's going to get traded. And if it's me, I'm packaging him with those 2 second rounders and I'm trying to get into the first rounder. Easy. Because you cannot go into this draft and not have a draft pick, man. I'm telling you, you have a lot of talent in this draft that can really change the direction of your organization, man. That's how deep it is. It's deep draft. So lose all the games. Rest of them, just lose them. We didn't try to get as high as a pick as we can get. And like I said, I'm trying to get another one. So, but yeah, these young guys, they look good right now, man. Kispert and Johnny Davis have really look good. And like I said, Denny, now he's got that time and he's got the rope, man, where he can kind of go out there and do his own thing. So
yeah, so right now we are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are the 7th worst team in the league record-wise. So we have the 7th best lottery odds since, we're not going to make the playoffs this year. The plan, we're going to keep our first-round pick. But the Blazers, they have 32 wins, and the Orlando Magic, they're ahead of us right now on the lottery odds. That Spurs win, it hurt us. I was happy to see the young guys play well, but it did hurt. It hurt us in the lottery odds. Excuse me, in the lottery standings. But we'll see how the season plays out. But yeah, Chris Sheldon T says appreciate Chris's fandom for the Wizards, but he's all thinking. Yeah, and then the rock bottom was when the Kings come in and they chant like the beam. How many times have we seen other fans come in and chant MVP chants because the other guy like Jason Tatum's coming and drop 50 points as a fan base? It's hard to come to every game and support that. It really is. So, but yeah, depressed Wizards fan said Chris is for TED TV. His organization is so out of touch with his fan base. All we want is a clear-cut path in future, and we don't have that. Delusional includes franchise. Yeah. I mean, like Brandon said earlier, Ted, he bought Monumental Sports. He bought NBC Sports Washington. So the guys on the broadcast, they have to pump up the team as much as they can. If they lose by 30, they still have to find positive ways to spin things. And Chris Miller has said some tough things on the team earlier this season as well. But when it comes down to it, they have to be as positive as possible. And whatever Ted is telling them to say, they basically have to go out there and say it. And even Drew Gooden, you can see his face when he was looking at Chris Miller when he was saying it. Drew was kind of like, looking at him a little skeptical. He was kind of looking at him with the side eye. So, but yeah, that's just what it is on NBC Sports Washington.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I get it from Chris's standpoint, man, because they talk to him. Come on, I mean, 2 days later, you change your whole stance. I think that he's in a tough position, man, because they would not let anybody say anything to the contrary of what they want you to say. And he's in a tough position, man. I think that a lot of people got to realize that. Look, they sign his checks, man. And so, what was it Dave Chappelle, when keeping it real goes wrong, man? Sometimes you can't, man, because look, you got a family, man. You need a check. So I get it from Chris's standpoint, man. But it's just this organization, man. The ownership is just to totally just throw your whole fan base under the bus. It's just crazy to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it there, man.
Yeah. Ben says, "Amen." Brandon packing both out of town. Israel T says, "Brandon, how many fans that want the team to tank will actually watch and buy a season tickets to a tanking team if they do it?" Me personally, I've been through it. I saw the JaVale McGee years. I saw the Andre Blatch years. I saw the Chris. What's this guy's name? It's not Dominic McGuire and Nick Young.
Chris Singleton.
Yeah, Chris Singleton and Vesley. I sat through those years. I was a young guy. I was probably in high school, at the time, or really middle school. And I watched all those games. I did not care. I'm just a diehard Wizards fan myself. So I get it. The building will probably be empty. But honestly, right now, we're dead last in attendance. So what difference is it really going to make, honestly, to be real? So, but I would still watch those games. Like I said, I watched the dog years. I watched when John Wall was a rookie and we lost. I got to look at the record for that, but we were a bad team that year. Um, there was just toxic stuff in the locker room. Of course, the sad ending or the unfortunate ending with Gilbert Arenas in DC. Things didn't end well. We were losing a lot of games. Trust me, Ezra Teague, I watched all those games. I'm gonna be there, win, lose, or draw. I'm a Commanders fan. So come on now. Let's be real here. I've seen a lot of losing. I'm a DC sports fan. I'm gonna be here, win, lose, or draw. So I don't mind the tanking season. If I can see a clear-cut future and a path, I'm still gonna watch here and support the team. So that's just my answer for you, Israel. That's a good question. Maybe some other people will bail out. The stadium probably will be empty for sure, but give it 2 or 3 years. Let's say you do somehow, some way got scoot and got lucky in the draft, or Victor, you're definitely be a playing team at least in 2025. At least you'll be a legitimate playoff team. I would book it for 2025, 2026. If you build the right way.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm with you, man. I'm a lifelong Wizards fan, Bullets fan, whatever you want to call them. I mean, since day one, man. It's just, unfortunately, I'm gonna say unfortunately, but I was in the military when Gilbert Arenas era, man. So I was a little busy to watch a whole lot, man. But I've always tracked this team since day one, man. And it's just I want to see us win, man. I want to see us win, and it's just I just want this franchise to keep it real. Like, be honest with yourself, man. Don't tell us one thing, and we know it's not true, but then you're trying to feed us. No, it's the truth. No, we're really going to win a championship. No, you're not. Not with the current setup, man. Just not. So, yeah.
Definitely. And then also, Brandon, you said you would trade Denny. I know a lot of people, have something to say. And Israeli fandom is in the building. What's up, Israeli fandom? He said Denny should be the face of the franchise, and he's better than Bradley Beal. IBS FTW says, what I'm hearing, you want Denny out, the most progressing young man that you got. This is why the Wizards never make it to the playoffs. Yeah, Denny, do I think he's going to be traded this all season? I don't know. It depends on, if there's a star available, if they're trying to get somebody, and if there's a team that wants them to trade us a star or upgrade, then I would not be against it. You saw what happened with Rui. You saw what happened with Kelly Oubre. You saw what happened with Troy Brown Jr. I think Denny's a good player, but honestly, he's not head and shoulders above those guys at all. And you saw those guys not get a second contract. And Denny's been very inconsistent. He's been consistent lately, but throughout this season, he's been very consistent. He actually regressed as a three-point shooter, 29% from the three, and from the field he regressed as well. But these last games have been encouraging, but I still haven't seen enough, to be honest with you. I still have not. I don't think his trade value is very high. If Rui got traded for 3 second-round picks and none, then Denny probably will be a little bit less than that, in my opinion. Probably like 2 or 3 second-round picks at best. But I don't think if I had to put money, I don't think he gets traded this offseason. I think he's going to be here to start the season off. I just don't see him being here after the trade deadline next season. But Brandon, you think he's going to be traded before the season even starts?
Yeah, because why fake the funk, man? I mean, if you're not going to re-sign him, then get some value out of him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, knowing this organization, they're going to wait to the deadline and trade him, and they're going to trade him for like a guy you never heard of and like 4 second rounders. But I mean, so I think if I was GM, man, I would move him because his value is higher. And throw those second rounders and then try to get another. You got to go into this first round, man, with at least a couple of picks for his organization. Because to me, if you look at what they're trying to do, even if they re-sign Kuz and KP, you still need a wing. You still need a point guard. So the draft is your way to get these guys on the cheap. So, and if they rebuild, you got 2 solid picks, man, that you can throw in, with Kispert and Johnny Davis. So I think it's a win-win, man. But
no, you're right on that too. You got to make a decision, and you got Johnny Davis coming up, and like you said, you got to pay the solid 3 if they are even back next year. So if Kuz even wants to come back, but we'll wrap it up today, and we'll talk more about that later. But we just want to thank you guys for watching and listening. Make sure you guys check out the Game to Game podcast. Now, make your second listen to Game to Game podcast. Every moment, every top performance, every result, Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across the NBA with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NBA. Available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. Thank you guys for listening. A lot to talk about today. Hell to the Wizards. Peace.